Welcome back, YouTube, to your Caribou Data Science channel. It's time for your Sunday evening, your Monday evening COVID-19 recap for the U.S. for today. So let's just get this show right on the road. So first we do the U.S. and then we'll do Portugal in a separate video. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Okay, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Okay, so anyway, okay, since January 2020, we've had 46.5 million cases. And since the end of February 2020, we've had 754,429 deaths. Now, interesting enough, the CEO of Moderna, I got a link to the article, says that a year from now, COVID-19 will be gone. I'm not sure exactly what he's basing that on, but that's just his prophecy. Because we all know that a prophet whose prophecy doesn't come true is a false prophet and should be ignored, politely ignored. So anyway, currently we're averaging 70,973 cases per day, which projects out over the next 12 months to 25.9 more million cases. We're currently averaging 1,220 deaths per day, which projects out over the next 12 months to 445,577 deaths. Okay? Now, here's the thing we're interested in here, right? You can see we got this long declining pattern down into July. Okay? Before the numbers begin to climb back up. Okay? You know what? Let's just skip these first here. Let's come all the way down to here. So anyway, what you can see here, the U.S. COVID-19 cases have passed 2020 cases, and U.S. COVID-19 deaths have passed 2020 deaths. But when we look at it, but here's the question: is well, see this spike here? No, it's kind of spiked right down in here. So here's the question: though. So we had an increase in the fall, a decline in spring. Is this it for this fall? Did it peak early? Or are we going to see during the next 2 to 3 months another spike back up here? I mean, here's the thing: if this is Delta variant, or mostly Delta variant, when that variant has its day, who knows? We could be back down here again. Okay, you crazy guy, Hakura Nakamura. Sorry. Okay, deaths again. You can see this. You can see how the months. I just entering this back is all white in it. Anyway, a long increase in COVID-19 cases in the fall, big declining pattern in spring and summer before spiking up again. Now, some people say this is Delta variant. Some say that these are people who have been vaccinated. Here's a question: where does this concept of, you know, sovereignty in our bodies, where does that come from? Okay, so what you can see here is quarterly cases. The third quarter of 2021's COVID-19 cases is the third most for any quarter so far. The third quarter of 2021 COVID-19 deaths is the third most for any quarter so far. So if we come down here now, we zoom in at the numbers down here. Okay? Okay, as you can see here, as on January 8th, the U.S. had 303,186 cases. That number fell all the way down to somewhere around 4,470 in June before climbing back up to before climbing back up on September 7th to 277,145 cases, and then falling back down again to 29,856 cases on November the 7th. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to come back over here and get me another caramel. Where did we leave off here? Okay. So, death spiked to 4,442 on January 20th. Dropped down to under 200 back during the summer. We're coming back up to 3,459 on September the 16th. And finally on November 7th, okay. And finally on November 7th, finishing at 119 deaths for a single day. So as you can see here, this long declining pattern for the U.S. since the first of the year in COVID-19 cases. Then this nice little wavelet here beginning in July, which finally began to fall back down again. Not down to these levels yet, but nonetheless a slight decline. And here's the deaths again. Long declining pattern in deaths, a spike here in July before beginning to fall back down. So what you can see here, here's the good news. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row we had declining COVID-19 cases. Unfortunately, July, August, September broke that. July and August broke that run. September was a little lower, just barely. Then October was decline. In all probability, November's going to see a decline in COVID-19 cases also. Now here's the good news. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row this year, we've seen a decline in COVID-19 deaths. For a 2 month increase, and then a third month would it begin to fall down again. Now here's the question for you to ponder today. For every 100,000 people in the U.S., how many people have COVID-19? Well, the answer is somewhere between 20 and 25. Now this is a very rough estimation. It's just this is what I like to call the back of the envelope calculation. Okay, just something like you kind of pull off the top of your head, without doing a lot of research. But again, so the question is, how many people have in America for every 100,000 people in America, how many people are dying from COVID-19? Well, but see, here's the thing. You can say, well, like I can say here, okay, well, you know, there's a bigger population, so of course there's going to be more deaths because there's more chance for infection. Okay. So anyway, what you can see right now, I'm going to say for every 100,000 people, how many people are dying from COVID-19? Well, the answer to that question is about one fourth of a person. One fourth of for every 100,000 people in the U.S., one fourth of a person's dying from COVID-19. But here's the point: that argument doesn't work because you can say it about any disease. Okay, even if Spanish flu only affected about 6% of the population. So you could say, well, 94% of the population didn't die from Spanish flu. Okay, and the Spanish flu is probably the most deadly pandemic of the 20th century. I can't think of anything that's even worse. But the simple fact of the matter is, as a proportion of total population, okay, only 6/10 of the population died from Spanish flu. Not 6% died, but 6/10 of a percent died from the Spanish flu. Okay, that's what you have to keep. That's why even even what the person was saying is true. You have to look at it in historic perspective to other pandemics. How does this? And the fact is, yeah, the proportion of the people dying is roughly one third of the proportion of people who died from the Spanish flu, based on based on the two separate size populations. Okay, we can't directly compare COVID-19 to the Spanish flu or the swine flu. If you want to be politically correct, you call it the swine flu. Although I heard the Pork Growers Association is upset with that name also. I'm just joking. I haven't heard that. But here's the point. Um, okay. I mean, the point still remains. As the proportion of the population in the U.S., the Spanish flu wasn't that deadly. Okay, the Spanish, as a proportion of the population, only 6/10 of the population died from COVID from Spanish flu. That means, that means 99.4% of the people didn't die. And that's the problem. You see, you can't simply throw out numbers and say, oh, well, that maybe. Plus, if it's a member of your family who died from COVID-19 and you didn't take the vaccine, how are you going to feel? There isn't a good medical reason for not getting the vaccine. Sorry. Are there side effects? Well, sure. I'm sure there are side effects to the polio vaccine, but yet parents still got their kids vaccinated. All medicine has side effects. Some side effects are good, and some side effects are bad. The result of the side effect of taking aspirin is your headache goes away. The side effect of taking too much aspirin is it can damage your stomach lining. Okay, there isn't all this talk about the sovereignty of the body certainly is unconstitutional. There is no constitutional basis for the individual's body, this concept of sovereignty. Okay, simply put, to not get vaccinated is selfish and self-centered. You're saying I don't care what my death would. I don't care what effect my death would have on my friends and my family, my coworkers. I don't care. It's all about me. But that's not what America's been. America's never been about me. It's also been about America as a nation. Okay, this nation was founded by a collection of people who came over on boats and settled the East Coast. This nation wasn't founded, as some try to claim, by Daniel Boone and David Crockett and all these great Western mountain men. That wasn't who founded America. Okay, so I'm kind of rambling here, but anyway, this is the end of the report for the U.S. Thanks so much for hanging around. We'll catch you tomorrow.